Hello, everyone. I am so excited about this event today. Originally, I had it planned on December the 21st, which is the winter solstice, my favorite time of the year. This is where my ascendant sits in Capricorn in the gate 10 in human design. If you're a human design enthusiast, this is the gate of love of self, right? Self-love in the way of taking radical honesty and accountability for yourself. But that date didn't work because we ended up getting the flu in the house. And so I waited. I asked the universe, when is the next best day for this? And it was today during the Capricorn new moon. And I want to talk a little bit about the Capricorn new moon because this is a special new moon. So if you're just watching now, I want to give you the rundown of what it is that we're going to be doing today so that you are prepared and ready. So today we're going to be talking about, of course, what this Capricorn new moon is all about and how it may influence you. I'm going to share some mantras in the comments or mantras below so you can align with a mantra that is aligned with you. So we'll be using your ascendant, your rising sign in astrology. So you may want to grab your astrology chart, especially as I move into the highlights of the 2025 astrology. So I'm going to be talking about some of the main points of what's going to happen in 2025 so you feel prepared. I know a lot of times when we are creating intentions or we are looking at our new year, new me type thing, we may feel as though we don't know what we want. We don't know the goals that we want, or we may have created goals in the past and not followed through because perhaps these goals that we created in the past were not aligned with us. They were not aligned with who it is that we are becoming in the new year, or we chose goals that were other people's goals. We compared ourselves to others and we didn't stay in alignment with our own truth. So, what we're going to be doing in this next about 2.5 hours is we're going to go through the new moon. We're going to go through the astrological transits of 2025 that you may feel in your life and the transition of what this astrology is going to move through us. And then we're going to do a clearing shamanic ritual. And then my good friend, Gina McDonald, is going to take us through a meditation and sound healing so that we can anchor in, we can dream, we can imagine what it is that we want to feel like, what we want to experience, future pacing into 2025. So I'm really, really excited about this. And I'm going to start with the new moon in Capricorn. So today is December the 30th. It is a new moon in Capricorn, and this new moon in Capricorn is really powerful this year because it is a black moon. You may not know what a black moon is, but a black moon is generally when we have two new moons in 1 month, or two new moons in one astrological sign, or four new moons in one season. Okay, so this is like a blue moon in the full moon. If we were celebrating a full moon, it's known as a blue moon. But because this is a new moon, this is new beginnings, new intentions, and it's powerfully going to set us up for the year, right? So you can either use this mantra for the entire year, or you can just use it for the next 28 days as you anchor into the Capricorn energy. So let's talk about what the Capricorn energy is. Capricorn energy is the third earth sign in the zodiac. So if we look at the journey of the maiden, mother, and matriarch of the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Capricorn is the matriarch of the earthly signs. This is the we're in it for the long run. It's all about perseverance, consistency. Life is a marathon and not a sprint. So, this is our legacy, what it is that we want to contribute to others. It's connected to systems and institutions and large organizations because it's gone through the entire journey into the fullness of the Capricorn. So when we have a Capricorn new moon, we are setting intentions with this Capricorn energy, with this drive, perhaps ambition that many of us feel in the new year. Now, not everybody feels this, and I want to recognize that. If you have no planets in Earth signs or you have no planets in Capricorn, this may not feel true for you. And so I want you to honor your own energy. I'm going to put some mantras down so that you can find your own, but I am a Capricorn rising, a Capricorn ascendant. And so my new moon mantra is I'm going to change my power. I'm going to change my story, right? I'm going to change my story with power, right? That feels very, very true for me as we move forward into 2025. So this new moon is all about setting new intentions. In human design, this is gate 58, or the gate of joy, or the gate of mastery through joy. And that means, what is it that we do consistently? What do we do on the daily? How is it that I can work towards my dream, my goal, my ambition in the long term, knowing that it is going to take time? And so, what is it that you enjoy doing? And the thing about joy, and that I want to talk about, is that it's not always in the moment, happy, happy feeling all the time, because sometimes joy takes work. Sometimes joy means that even though I would rather sit on the couch and watch some Netflix and do absolutely nothing, I have a dream. I have a goal. There's something that I want to experience in my life. And that means I need to be accountable for myself. That means even though I would prefer the momentary bliss of sitting on the couch and doing absolutely nothing, I know that sometimes I have to stay in the present moment, pull up my big girl panties, and do the damn thing. So for many people, this is, I'm gonna lose 50 pounds the next year, and I'm gonna work out every single day, and I'm gonna eat really, really healthy, and I'm going to X, Y, and Z. And when it comes to that moment, you're like, I don't really feel like it, right? This is why we really tap into our heart. We tap into our heart. We tap into our soul. What is it that our heart and soul truly want to experience in this cycle? And how can I align with my heart and my soul and allow my heart and my soul to be the driver, right? So I can have a million excuses in my head as to why I can't do this or why I shouldn't do this or why I deserve to sit on the couch and do nothing, where my heart, my soul may want to push me in a different direction. And so when you're tapping into this, get out of your head, get out of your body, and listen to your heart. And so moving into a place of active listening, moving into a place of asking questions. Gate 58 in human design is in the root center, or the divine timing center. This means this is the center of adrenaline. This is the center sometimes of cortisol if we're really, really stressed. This is the center, the spark to take action if it's in alignment with what it is that you truly have. And it's moving towards Mastery, perfection. How can I get better, a little bit better every single day? Or how can I get a little bit better every time I do the work or I try or I commit to myself? So if it is, say, a fitness or nutrition aspect, and I'm going to tell you why we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, it's like, even though I want the donut, would the protein serve me better? Will I wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I'm so glad I had that donut"? Or do you wake up in the morning and beat yourself up? So, this is taking accountability for what your dreams are, what your goals are, what it is that you want to experience, how it is that you want to feel in the next year, and how can I build consistency that feels right to me? Because the way that we can build consistency, once again, very, very different for everyone. And this is why aligning with your astrology, aligning with your energetic blueprint or your human design can really be beneficial because it will give you the clues as to how it is that you are designed to make these decisions, how it is designed to move through life. And when we move through an entire year, we get an opportunity to tap into 12 different ways we get to love and commit to ourselves. So that's all I'm going to say about the new moon. I'll leave the mantras below if that's something that you want to attune to. And I'm going to share a practice in a little bit of how to attune to it in a way that only takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on you. This is the way that I start my day and really allows me to listen to my own energy and my own body instead of tapping into social media or emails or what other people are saying and doing. So let's look at the year ahead. Now, if you haven't caught my 2025 Heads Up Astrology Report, you can watch that on YouTube, and I will share the link below for that so that you can go month by month and understand the archetypes, the energy, what is moving through the collective consciousness or society throughout each of these months. And that way you understand the flavor and you can use it in your life and in your own business. I also have the 2025 Heads Up bundle that includes the presentation, which is about 90 minutes going through month by month. It also includes the Soul Prism calendar, which has clickable links so you can stay current as to what is going on in the transits. It helps you align to the elements through the moon, right? So you learn how to use water elements and you learn how to use the fire and you learn how to use the earth elements and you learn how to use the air elements in your life and business so that you can stay in tune, right? In tune with nature, in tune with the cycles, and in tune with yourself. And start journaling and feeling into, is this true for me or not? In the 2025 Heads Up bundle, it also includes the Hustle with Heart Planner. This is your 12-month dream planner that helps you not only visualize or create a vision board or write yourself a letter from the future, but it also helps you take those goals or those feelings or those experiences that you want in the next year, helps you dive deeper into the why. And so I have some really good psychologically deep questions that you can use ChatGPT for or AI for to help you dive deeper into your why so you can stay attuned to what is important to you. Then it breaks it into SMART goals. You can plan through the quarters, monthly, whatever feels good to you. But it is a great planner that really helps you put it into concrete form, or a flexible framework, right? A flexible framework. So for many of us, we don't do well with goals. We don't do well with the big picture. Because we get lost in the sauce. And so finding the way that is in tune with you and creating these goals or these experiences or the way that you want to feel in the future in alignment with the way that you are meant to do things. It also includes the lunar luminary, which teaches you how to work with the elements, which is something that you may want to move into in the next year. So I highly recommend grabbing the Heads Up bundle. I think it's only $47. So I'm going to tell you right now, there is so much goodness in this bundle. You want this bundle. Okay. So enough about that. Let's talk about 2025 and the year of transition. I'm going to straight up tell you, this is a big year. This is a big year. A lot of the astrologers say that it is an exceptional year because all of the planets that have been hunkered down in certain signs are now all moving houses or all moving astrological signs. The big player is Aries. And so you may want to look at your astrology chart and look to see what house or what houses are affecting you in Aries. For instance, Aries is my fourth house. My fourth house is concerning Aries. And so for me, I'm really going to be connecting to creating healthy boundaries, perhaps moving somewhere different, really self-mothering and self-parenting myself. And these are the themes that I'm going to be experiencing, or I may be experiencing in the fourth house in 2025. So let's start off with what is in retrograde. And the one that I want to focus on the most right now is when we're starting this year in 2025, we're starting with a Mars retrograde. And Mars retrogrades every 2 years. So you may experience a Mars return every 2 years. Mars right now has moved from Leo, which is all about expressing your heart with courage and conviction, and it's very romantic energy and wants to be the spotlight. You know, it's the sun, it's a fire element, and it's moving into Cancer, which is water sign, which is connected to nurturing. It's connected to the moon. It's connected to your emotions, connected to how you feel at home. What does home feel like for you? So with Mars going retrograde in Cancer until February 4th, it's doing the dance, the retrograde dance. What this may feel like to you is you might be a little bit prickly. You might feel a little defensive, a little passive aggressive, because Mars is a fire sign. It's connected to our body, it's connected to our youthful folly and who we were as a child. You know, think about a 2-year-old having a tantrum, for instance. It's that raw energy that I want to do it right now. It's pioneering, temper tantrums sometimes. It's red hot, right? And we think about that moving into a water sign that's very protective and very soft and very nurturing. And so there may be this push-pull feeling that you may feel during this time. And so just giving yourself that heads up, hey, I recognize that Mars is in Cancer, it's in retrograde. I might not have all the push, I might not have all the energy to move forward. I might have to take a step back and really feel into my own life and my own body and what it is that I want to experience in 2025. So even though in the past it was always new year, new me vibes, we may feel that that might not be true for you. And you might feel that your new year might not start until March and spring. So being honest with yourself and not following what everyone else is doing, but following your own inner algorithm or your own inner trend instead. So we have Mars in retrograde in Cancer. We're also going through a nodal shift. So for the last 18 months, the North Node and the South Node have been in Libra and Aries, right? Libra and Aries in our chart. So once again, you might want to look at your chart and you might want to see, oh, Aries is in this house, my fourth house, and Libra is in this house. For me, it was my 10th house. And I saw some shifts and change happening then. But now we're moving into Virgo and Pisces. Virgo and Pisces. Now, Virgo is connected to the sixth house, for instance. It's connected to, generally speaking, astrologers say that it's connected to Mercury in the mind. However, here at Soul Prism, I like to see Virgo connected to Mother Earth, right? Mother Earth. And so if Virgo's connected to Mother Earth, is connected to that mothering energy, that the grounded energy, that energy of planning, that energy of your health, that energy of what it is that you do on the daily. How is it that you serve, right? Serve from your heart and soul. And so Virgo and Pisces, Pisces is connected to water, is connected to the collective consciousness, is connected to our psychology, what is hidden, and what's going on in the collective, right? It's connected to spirituality. And so when we see the Virgo Pisces axis, we may feel that it's time to ground into our bodies, to bring our dreams into reality. When we look at Virgo, it's our thoughts and our beliefs create our reality, right? Same with Pisces. Our thoughts and our beliefs create our personality and our personality. So, what is it that I believe? What is it that I believe, or what is it that I'm ready to shift my beliefs towards something that is more in alignment with who it is that I truly am? How is it that I'm ready to believe something better for myself? And how is it that I'm ready to behave, right? How am I going to behave on the daily? And who is it that I'm becoming? So, with the Virgo Pisces, this is an opportunity for us to bring in our spirituality, bring in our consciousness, bring in our meditation practices or our religion into our daily lives. And this is why I truly believe that this is the year of the soulpreneur, right? The 18 months of moving into the soulpreneur. How can I serve from my soul? How can I create a business in alignment with my truth, with my soul purpose? And how can I create sustainability through that? Because Virgo is connected to Mother Earth, capacity, harvest, right? So we're going to be in manifestation mode. So really highlighting the importance of your daily rituals, Virgo, and the need for spiritual surrender, which is Pisces. So I'm really excited to see how this plays out in not only our own personal lives, but in society as well. What you do on the daily matters. Your habits create your reality, right? So really bringing our dreams into reality. Now we have Saturn moving into Aries for a very short period of time. Saturn has been in Pisces for the last couple of years, and now it is taking a peek, a little step forward into Aries, which is the beginning of a new cycle, right? Aries is the beginning of a new cycle. And so with Saturn moving into Aries, it's going to retrograde July 13th into November the 27th. So it's going to go into Aries and then come back into Pisces. So we're going to get a sneak peek of what it is that we are going to be pioneering into and what structure, what discipline Saturn is going to bring to our pioneering experience. And so we're going to see a completely new cycle with Saturn in Aries. And that's usually about 28-year cycle. Neptune, which has been in Pisces since 2011, is also moving into Aries in 2025. It will be going into Aries in March the 30th, and then retrograding from July 4th until the end of the year in December. So once again, we're getting a sneak peek of what Neptune is going to teach us through Aries. Now, Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011, and we've seen some really, really big changes in the way that we look at spirituality, in the way that we look at the collective consciousness and transpersonal psychology into our thoughts and our beliefs. We've seen an emergence of esoteric wisdom, of ancient wisdom, mixed in with new paradigm thought. And so we've really seen this new paradigm of spirituality, and and at the same time the the religions really trying to hold their ground, right? Really trying to hold their ground. But as Neptune moves into Aries next year, and then fully in 2026, and we actually see a Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which happens every 36 years, we're going to see a new paradigm in the way that we view consciousness or spirituality or religion. And so there, once again, this dreamy aspect of Neptune, which is the planet of our spiritual purpose or spiritual law. Neptune, the dreaminess, moving into Aries, which is a fire, like a let's go, let's pioneer, let's pave a new path. And then Saturn saying, whoa, hold up a bit. We need a plan. We need to take accountability for ourselves. We need to have a little bit of structure. And so we may see the structure being rigid. We may see the structure being a flexible framework. Once again, really listening to your own energy and what is true for you, because this is going to show up very differently for everyone else. And so I'm personally really excited to see the emergence of the soulpreneur as Saturn and Neptune move into Aries. Now, we also have Uranus that has been in Taurus since 2018. Now, Taurus is a fixed sign. It's a fixed earth sign connected to our values and what it is that we truly value, right? What it is that we value with our five senses. And with Uranus in Gemini since 2018, we may have seen a shakeup in what it is that we value. I'm going to give you an example. So I have my Taurus is in my fifth house of hobbies and play and relationships and romance and children and creation and that creative energy, that creative spark. And with Uranus being in Taurus in my fifth house of creativity, wow, it has been a ride in two different ways. I created this beautiful business since 2020. I have made a lot of fun resources and really just hunkered down and played in my creativity and created courses and resources and lots of ideas, lots of fun happening. But I also have a really big divot in my couch because it made me kind of comfortable, right? And now I'm really feeling uncomfortable in my comfort zone and I'm ready to stretch the limits. And so, with Uranus moving into Gemini on July 7th for a short period of time, because it will go back retrograde in September until the 1st of January. Uranus is going into Gemini, which is busy. It's busy, busy, busy. Gemini is that of the mind, right? It's that of communication, short distance travel, our cousins. It's kind of, I've heard it called the junk drawer of astrology. So if you think about Uranus, the planet of higher mind, of, being very different and changing your, very innovative and very changing, going into Gemini, which is very, very busy, I'm wondering if you can kind of picture what I'm throwing down here. What I'm saying that it's going to be very, very busy. There's going to be a lot of busy energy. There's going to be a lot of information and a lot of misinformation. The social media is going to blow up even more before it finally goes out. But we're going to see a lot of busyness, which is why I truly believe it is so important for you to anchor in to your energetic blueprint and anchor into your algorithm so you're not getting swayed by the noise and by what everyone else is doing. So if in your human design you have an open head or an open root, you may feel this a lot. The pressure to be inspired, the pressure to do, to act, to jump on everything all the time. That's going to lead to burnout. And that's why it's so important for you to surrender and to anchor into your own energy and listen to your heart and not so much your mind. We have Jupiter, which stays in a sign for 1 year and moves around the entire zodiac wheel in 12 years. Jupiter is moving from Gemini, blowing up that busyness already that we have seen in the communications, miscommunications, and all of that. It's moving into Cancer, which is connected to the moon. It's connected to, once again, your home and your relationship to your mom and inner parenting and the ooey gooey vulnerableness of your heart and opening up your heart to share with others. So with Jupiter moving into Cancer, once again for a short time before it, inches back out, Jupiter in Cancer is really going to blow up that sector as well. And so, really being in alignment with your heart, setting up really healthy boundaries for yourself is going to be beneficial to you. The last thing that I really wanted to talk about was the Venus retrograde. Now, the Venus retrograde happens every 18 months. And Venus is connected to our values, what it is that we value. It is the ruler of Taurus, right? So everything that I said about Taurus also fits in with Venus. So Venus is the planet of beauty, it's the planet of your five senses, what it is that you value. Once again, kind of a stuck energy, kind of a fixed energy. And so Venus going retrograde, coming back into surrender, coming back into listening, coming back into reflection, is happening from a fire sign to a water sign, just like Mars did. Now, Venus is moving from Aries into Pisces. You see why I'm highlighting Aries here, because there's a lot going on in Aries next year. And so Venus may start out with brand new values or what it wants to experience in the 5 or in the 3D, and it may experience a transition or a change or a transformation of what it is that you truly value. So it may go into action and then come back into dreaming, right? This you see this transitional energy that we're having. So the reason why this transition really matters is that we're going to see some rapid changes with the planetary shifts, and it's setting the stage for 2026, where many planets are going to settle for the longer term, right? So this is a transition year. It is the year of the wood snake in Chinese astrology. And so if we think about the wood element is connected to springtime, liver, the gallbladder, a little bit of fire for us sometimes. And the snake is deeply feminine. It's deeply feminine where it has its belly on the ground and it can sense, it can use its intuition as to what is needed now, what is needed in the present. And so I personally, I'm a fire snake. And so this is connected to my intuition where I can sense what is needed every single day. It's that mother energy of what is needed, right? Where the dragon is the big picture, right? My roommate is a dragon energy, so he's the big picture. He's a Sagittarius, where I am more, what do we need in the daily? And I worked in healthcare. I work in healthcare for the last 20 years, taking care of daily needs, or in mental health. How can I help you, while I'm here? What are what is it that you need at this time? And that's truly what this snake energy is. It's very intuitive and sensing. But it's also the energy of shedding skin. and shedding layers and letting go. And so in this year with the snake energy and this spring, this wood energy is, what do I need to release? Right? What is it that I'm ready to shed? What conditioning I'm ready to shed? What stories am I ready to shed? Where am I going to be a little bit vulnerable after I've shed those stories or those conditions? Or how am I going to be a little bit vulnerable when it feels new to me? And how am I going to support myself, right? How am I going to connect to myself in that way? This is a 9 year in numerology. And so this is connected to endings. So once again, very in alignment when you can put all these systems together. We see that the 9 year is endings and new beginnings. And we're going to be seeing that next year. So what I want to ask you is, how will you anchor into your truth with all the noise of these cosmic shifts? So, how are you going to anchor into your truth? And so, I wanted to share something that I do, one of my personal practices. I call it embody your brand, but it's embodied flow. It's embodying your flow, and it's through the 4 M's. And so, I'm really excited to be sharing the 4 M's with you. This is the 4M framework, flexible framework to staying aligned with your own energy. The first M is meditation, connecting with the stillness of your inner voice. This doesn't mean sitting on a pillow and saying, sitting on a pillow, concentrating really quiet, really hard, trying to quiet everything. Meditation is different for everybody. For some people, it's going on a nature walk. For some people, it is just doing something mindless, right? Doing something mindless and allowing source to come through. Meditation could be qigong, could be yoga, could be a spiritual practice, could be breath work, right? So finding what feels right to you. The second M is mantra, using affirmations or personal mantras to anchor in your energy. And so I really like using a mantra to anchor in the energy that I'm supporting. The next is movement. You have to move your body. Move your body to release the stagnant energy and to stay vibrant. So when you move your body, you're shaking your body out. You're moving that energy out. So if you're stuck in a rut or you're stuck in a funk, you have to move your body. You got to move that energy. You got to move it up and out. So movement is very important. And the last M that I personally use is music. Listening to uplifting sounds to align to your vibration. Listening to music that hits you in the soul, that makes you want to move. Listening to binaural beats, listening to high frequency music, right? What works good for you? So I use the 4 M's on a daily basis. And it really only takes 5 to 10 minutes sometimes for me to get into my zone. So I do it all together. I plug in my music, I use my earbuds, put on my favorite Spotify playlist, or allow Spotify to pick my music. I start moving my body, whether I'm going out for a spirit walk, whether I'm just dancing in my room while I'm making my bed mindlessly. I put on that music and I start getting into my groove. And then I focus on the mantra that I'm working with for that month because I love doing monthly mantras. And so for the monthly mantra for me in with this new moon in Capricorn, as I said, I'm going to find it here one more time. I step into my power and I rewrite my story. Right? So using those words while I'm dancing and while I'm listening to music puts me in that meditation state. So we have the meditation, mantra, movement, and music. And of course, grab your journal as well. But this really shouldn't take a lot of time. I'm one of those people that oh man, I could spend hours. I could spend hours in the quantum. I could spend hours in meditation and spiritual work and channeling. I could spend hours doing that. And then I end up using it as a form of procrastination. I'm being 100% honest with you guys here. And so moving through my four M's in the first 10 minutes of my day or right before I'm going to hunker down and do some writing work really helps me to get out of my head, get into my heart, get into my flow, and opening up to source, opening up to the universe to allow those synchronicities, those coincidences, my next aligned step. And then listen, right? Listen. What is your strategy? What is your human design strategy? Is it splenic, hits you once and you never get it again, and you have to trust yourself? Is it sacral based, where you listen to your gut and you ask yourself yes or no questions? Is this alignment today? Is this an alignment today? Is this what I want to be doing? Do I have the energy? If you're emotional, then moving through your wave, understanding the way that your energy works. Sometimes you might have some high highs, some low lows, learning to how to make decisions in the right time. If you are a mental projector or you are self-projected, ego projected, then talking it out, right? Talking it out with a trusted friend, even using ChatGPT. I have a client doing that right now, really allowing her to get her ideas out, having them back to her in a different way really helps her to align to what is true for her. So we all have a different way of listening to our intuition, to listen to our strategy, and the four M's can really help you to stay in alignment with who it is that you are. So I think that is it for the moment. We took a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to be releasing 2024 with a powerful shamanic ritual. I'm so excited for you to experience this, and I can't wait to hear if anything comes up through that. All right, so we'll see you in a little bit. So the next section that we're going to do, and Gina is so right. I really wanted to release 2024 before we open into that energy of 2025, right? So that we can have the capacity to dream into being our 2025. As many of you know, I do follow many cycles, whether it's astrology, whether it is five element healing. And in the fall, we do a lot of releasing. We release, right? We deadhead what no longer serves us. And so it's really, really important for us to release, to deadhead, to take stock so that we can move forward with an open and grateful heart. And so if you've never heard of Ho'oponopono before, I've been using Ho'oponopono for many, many years. My girl Connie has heard the story many times. I believe Helena has as well, but I'm going to share it anyway. And by the way, Connie, I love your haircut. So a little bit about Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian practice of forgiveness and reconciliation and is rooted in clearing emotional and spiritual blocks. It truly works on the quantum. Now, I can't say his name and I apologize, but this doctor famously used Ho'oponopono to heal an entire ward of criminally insane patients in Hawaii. This is a Hawaiian shamanic ritual that they used for many, many years, and it got banned for a while. And so he brought it back and he started bringing it to himself first. So instead of working directly with the patients in the hospital, Dr. Hugh Len reviewed their files and applied this practice to himself. He believed that healing his perceptions and emotions related to the patients, he could transform their realities. And as I said before, your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality, right? So as he continued the practice, the patients showed remarkable improvement. Some were even able to leave the mental ward, the institution. And so Dr. Hugh Len's work demonstrates the interconnectedness of our energy and how personal healing can ripple outwards to impact others. Now, I'm going to share my story of Ho'oponopono and why I find it so very, very valuable. Me and my mom, we have an interesting relationship to say the least, as I'm sure many of us do or have had. And since we're, you know, really talking about the moon right now, and the maternal relationships, me and my mom, we have a little bit of a rocky relationship. Um, and in my younger years, we would go years and years without speaking. We would go years without speaking. And there was a point in my life, 2015, was a huge transition year for me. And I was going for surgery. I had purple hair at the time. I was off work for a year, and I was going into surgery. So maybe a little bit of a midlife crisis. And I hadn't spoken to my mom in 2 years. We stopped talking 2 years before the surgery. And so I decided that I was going to do Ho'oponopono before my surgery to clear my energy before I went under. I felt this was really, really important for me to. I kept getting the message I was starting anew. I was coming back, kind of like a new person or a different person. And I felt it was really, really important for me to do Ho'oponopono and to clear the energies so that when I came back, I would come back in a clean state. And so I went for my surgery, and I came to, and my blood pressure was really, really low. And so I had to, when I went to Walmart to pick up my prescription and my medication after the surgery, I had to drive the cart, right? Because I wasn't able to walk yet. I was still, my blood pressure was really low. So here I am with my arm in a sling, purple hair, really dozy from just having a surgery, driving the cart in Walmart in my city of Moose Jaw. And I look over and I see this lady in the card section getting a card. And I say to my son, who was 10 at the time, I said, "Man, these meds are really good because I think that's grandma. That looks like grandma." Now, my mom lives in Windsor, Ontario, so she lives across the country. She doesn't live anywhere near me. She had no idea that I just went for surgery because we weren't in contact. But she was in Walmart in Moose Jaw buying me a card saying that she wanted to clear the energy, that she wanted to start over again, and that she was going to apologize first for our fight, which is really unheard of. And so this is where I really was like, oh my goodness, Ho'oponopono is really powerful for it to clear our relationship, our troubled relationship of years in this simple little ritual that I'm going to teach you guys. It really does clear on dimensions. It really does clear across the quantum, and it really does clear our own hearts. And it's amazing, like I said. Every time now that I do Ho'oponopono, and I teach this quite often in my classes, my mom texts me out of the blue and very random. And so I truly believe that this works. So I'm going to teach you the four words that we use, or the four different sentences that we use, why we use them, and then this is something that you can take into your 2024. And I share this in many different ways, but the first sentence that we say is, "I'm sorry." Right? This is the reconciliation. And this isn't sorry to the other people as much as I'm sorry to myself, right? This is accountability. This is awareness. This is taking radical responsibility for your part. This isn't this isn't saying that whatever happened you're okay with, but you're saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry this happened. I'm sorry I learned this lesson. I'm sorry that I went through this. I'm sorry if I hurt anyone else. I'm just sorry. I'm taking accountability. I'm aware of the situation, and I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm sorry. The next is, I forgive you. And I know forgiveness can be really hard for a lot of people. And I want to say that this forgiveness isn't, once again, about the other person. This is about yourself. This is, I forgive you, I forgive me, I forgive us. I'm ready to clear this. You don't have to get into the stories. You don't have to get into the emotions of it. You just have to be ready. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And you're doing this for yourself. The next part is, I love you, because we create from love. Everything is a vibration of love. This is why my business is called Soul Prism Collective, because we are all a prism of light. The way that our human design shines, the way that our astrology shines, the way that our heart shines, our inner light shines. We all have a unique prism of light. And so when we start over again, when we've cleared and we're ready to start, we're ready to create something new, we create it with love. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I forgot the thank you, but that's okay. I love you. And then thank you, right? Gratitude. This is how we open our heart. We open our heart with gratitude. When we say thank you, this is a way that we open our heart. When I appreciate someone, right? I appreciate Gina. I appreciate Connie. I appreciate Helena. I appreciate all of you guys. I truly value you. I value your time. I value your space. I value your energy. I'm so grateful. And even just saying that, I'm grateful. I appreciate. I thank you does open your heart. So even if you don't believe it, you're in your head about it, you're into the stories, how could I possibly forgive this person? How could I possibly forgive myself? Stop. We're moving into the heart. This is the heart. So we say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And we create from love. So, what I would love for you to do is to open up your journal and to give yourself that love. You can do it very, very simply and say, write down the four things. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you to 2024. It doesn't have to be a huge process. Personally, I'm going to give you what I do and what works for me. I once again use my four M's, right? So in meditation, but I'm doing this through movement. I'm saying the mantra. I have a movement that I do with it, and I listen to music. And I may do this for like 5 minutes. I may just get into my heart, get into my zone, listen to my music, say the mantra, say the movements, or do the movements. And I promise you, quantum leaps happen. Shift happens when we're ready to let go. And so this is a beautiful way to let go of any of the pressure that you feel you should be ahead, that you feel you should have done more, that you feel you're beating yourself up about. Because let's be real, Capricorns can feel like that sometimes. This season can feel like that, especially with the conditioning of New Year's resolutions, a new year, new me, and all of that jazz. I want you to just open your heart up and to like truly feel like you are ready for something new. Doesn't mean you have to know what it is. Doesn't mean you have to write a whole bunch of goals. It doesn't mean that you need to have your SMART goals and everything in place. But it's this, oh, I pulled the card 25 from the I Ching today, and it's the card of innocence. It is the card of having a relationship with spirit. And there's this sense of innocence with it. How can I go into 2025 with an innocent heart? How can I go into 2025 with open expectancy, right? And allow that next step to come to me. Allow the how to come to me. What I really want to feel in 2025. What do I want to experience in 2025? Those are the things that we can anchor into if we don't know what the what is. I don't know what I want to do in 2025, but I sure as hell know how I want to feel. And so anchor into a feeling. And if anybody wants to pop out and share an experience with Ho'oponopono, share an experience of letting go, or share anything that they're excited about for 2025, I'd love to hear it. Ruth says that she loves Ho'oponopono. Diane says that she's a Capricorn, January 4th. My son is also, he's a double Cap, January 7th. Okay. Gina, does that feel complete? Are you ready to play?
That does feel complete, and I'm so grateful that you did that. It feels, it was nice. It felt like it put a period at the end of that sentence, and to be able to move into this beautiful visualization that I'm going to do for you guys. And we're going to go on a little journey into 2025. So, right now, I first want to just extend my gratitude to you all for being here today, for participating, for sharing this space, and allowing Tammy and I to have this sacred space for you. And with that, I'm going to invite you in this space to get comfortable, find your a nice, comfortable position, and we're going to take a journey into the future a year from now, and we're going to explore what your most beautiful, brilliant future self looks and feels like. So, reminding you this is a space to reflect, to dream, and just anchor into yourself. So, we're going to start with a little breathing, and I'm going to play some tones on my sound bowl while we guide through this. The sound bowl is the 528, and it's the heart. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. We're going to hold and exhale slowly through the mouth. Hold, release. We're going to do this 3 more times. Imagine yourself with each inhale filling up with light. And release. One more time, deep breath in. And hold. And release. Allowing yourself fully relaxing into this moment, this space and time. We don't have any worries. We don't have any stress. We're just going on a journey. Now, imagine that you have roots extending from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet, or both, and allow these roots to reach deep down into the earth, down through the layers to the very core of Mother Gaia, and feel her strength and her supporting you securely and lovingly as you relax into this moment. Feel her golden light traveling up from the earth and wrapping you in her love. And now, in your mind's eye, envision a beautiful golden glowing path that appears in front of you. This path shimmers with light, sparkly, and inviting. And go ahead and take your first step onto this path, feeling curious and excited about what lies in front of you. That innocent curiosity. And as you're walking, notice how the golden light keeps illuminating your way, and you're just filled with a sense of peace and possibility. This path is leading you into your future, and you'll meet your future self 1 year from today. At the end of the path, you see this beautiful doorway. It's lit up, backlit with a beautiful golden light. Just pause at this doorway for a moment, at this threshold. Notice the energy around you. It's warm, welcoming, alive with potential. And when you're ready, take a step through this doorway and into your life 1 year from now. Take a look around. What does your life look like? Are you in your dream home? Or maybe surrounded by nature? Or in a completely different space that feels perfectly aligned with your soul? Notice the colors and the textures and even the smells in the air. What does this space say about who you've become? Now, tune into your body. How do you feel physically? Are you strong, vibrant, full of energy? Notice how your body moves with ease and grace. What emotions are present for you in this moment? Are you feeling joy or peace, confidence, or perhaps a deep sense of purpose? Notice the sounds around you. Are there birds singing? Rustle of trees? The laughter of loved ones? Let yourself fully experience the sensations of this moment. And who do you see around you? Who are you spending your time with? Notice the people. These are the souls who uplift and support you, who celebrate your growth and dreams. What have you accomplished over the past year? What goals have you reached? How have you grown, healed, and expanded? Feel pride and the joy of living in alignment with your true self. Take a moment, truly experience yourself. Now take a deep breath. Look around one last time. Thank your future self for showing you what's possible. Feel gratitude in your heart as you know this vision is already on its way to you. And when you're ready, begin to walk back down that golden path, carrying these feelings and sensations of your future with you. Each step brings you closer to the present moment, but notice how your energy feels lighter, brighter, and more aligned. Take a deep breath in, holding on to the brilliance of this vision, and exhale, letting it integrate into your entire being. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, slowly coming back to this space. And in closing, I invite you to repeat silently or out loud, I am stepping into my brilliance. I am aligned with my highest self. I am ready to create a life I love. Thank you all for taking this journey with me. And welcome back. I'm curious if anyone's willing to share, how was it in 2025? I can see everyone looks really relaxed.
I can share. I'll share first and then anybody else would like to. Oh, Diane says she may have dozed off a little bit.
That's okay. It's okay. Yeah. How was it, Tammy?
So what I was, first of all, I love that you said stepping into brilliance because I think you know this already, but that's my word for 2025 that I got back in Scorpio was the word brilliance. Excuse me. And so when you said stepping into your brilliance, I was just like, oh, that just felt so in alignment, right? Like, I truly believe that 2025 is an opportunity for us to really shine through our soul light, through our soul prism. And what I was kind of envisioning, which I do this exercise a lot, but I always envision a hotel room. And I always like I love like posh hotel rooms with like crisp sheets and all the things. And I was really excited about my what I call my West Coast swing, coming through the West Coast in 2025 and visiting many of my clients and maybe doing some events in 2025. We're talking about maybe doing a retreat at Shasta Mountain, for instance, in August. And so that's what I was envisioning. I was really like feeling into a lot of traveling and staying in nice hotels and just going on an adventure.
I love that. I love that. Mount Shasta, yeah, color me there. I'm in. Um, does anyone else have anything? I see Madeline has her. Oh no, maybe she doesn't. Maybe that was me. Sorry, my bad. But anyone else want to share what they experienced or Helena? Go ahead.
It's Helena.
Helena, I do it every time because
Helena. No, you do it the first time and then you correct yourself the second time you say it.
I
And
know,
then you
and
go
I
back to
know
the
your
first
name.
time. Um, we've not actually, Gina and I have not actually met yet in person, although we only live 3 hours from each other. It's going to happen.
It's
So,
gonna.
um, for me, there's this sense of hopeful expectancy, truly. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have some ideas. I have some plans. I never know what opportunity is going to present itself and where it will lead. And then sometimes life decides to throw a monkey wrench and you get derailed and have to figure out what's going to happen now. And trust, but it's about learning to trust in the power of the present moment. And
Absolutely.
if nothing else for 2025, as well, and then combine it with my mantra, what can I move forward today? I'm going to change that. What can I move forward in joy today?
I like that. Thank you. And let's see. Haley posted in the chat, the best she can describe it with her tired brain is it was new and exciting and a bit of unknown because of big changes. Happy and holistically successful was the general vibe. And she saw a memorial she painted on her new office wall, which is beautiful. And Diana said she saw herself being healthier and having more energy to do what she wants to do, which is incredible too. That's the second time someone has mentioned wanting to have more energy in this group today. And I know for myself, I've been hoping for that too, and kind of feeling that it's coming. That there is some more energy coming, that we are going to be supported energetically. I know Tammy had mentioned that she felt like she had been digging some grooves in her couch, and I too feel like my couch has a big butt print where I spend a little too much time. So I'm looking forward to having that energy and kind of that drive, a little bit of that Capricorn push to get out and get moving and kind of really release, I feel like, some stagnant energy. Diana says she has some medical issues that are really messing with her body this year. So, yeah, Diana, I'm hoping that for you, you do find that energy that helps you just even navigate your way through those challenges. Yeah. Thank you all so much. That was such a joy and a pleasure for me to be able to bring and guide you through. Um, and know that it doesn't just stop here. You can go back and actually go on that journey yourself whenever you feel like it, and take yourself down the golden path. But I also do offer guided visualizations. I do sound healing. I also do crystal healing. So if you're interested in any of that, that's my shameless plug. And I will put my website in the chat for you. Thank you again so much. And thank you, Tammy, from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity and just for being an amazing mentor and friend.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I'm just removing the pin here. Okay. I have to say, this is why I am so damn excited. I have been since 2019, 2020, wanting to build a collaboration, wanting to have a group. Like back in 2020, we called it the Human Design Portal, which ended up becoming the Facebook group that I co-own. But I've been this aligned energy, this collaboration energy, working together energy has really been in my blood for many, many years now. And I've been really wanting to create a container that we can all share each other's gifts, right? We can all share each other's gifts. And Gina just showed beautifully the opportunity that we can all create for each other when we share space, when we don't see each other as competition, but we truly believe that we're all walking hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. We're all sitting at the same table, and we're all here to create and to change and to build a sustainable model of growth and of love and to share our light through our soul prism. And so I want to thank Gina so much. And I have to say, love the shameless plug because so many times we don't take up space. Right? We don't take up space. And many of you know like that's a saying that I say a lot is to take up space. In fact, part of my offering in 2025 through the Hive Mind is to have a spot in the Take Up Space Summit, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So Connie says she hasn't done a new word yet. I mean, there is no rush. It'll come to you. I'm sure that you know how that word comes to you, whether you pull a card or hear it. We all have a different way of connecting to our word if we choose a word, because not everybody chooses a word or chooses a theme. But even getting a solar return chart, like astrology chart with an astrologer, or being in a group can really inspire you to build towards a theme and a dream. So Diane says not really sure how to choose a word. And honestly, this is one of the ways that I do it is as I say, I go in with that innocence, with that blank blank, right? I'm not choosing, I'm not looking, I'm not searching. I'm just open, as Helena says, in anticipation, right? Opening, saying, there's a word out there for me. I'm open to hearing it. It's going to show itself in so many different ways. For me, I literally hear the word. The word literally comes into my ear, and that's how I hear it. Last year I had to look up the word. I didn't even know what the word meant. Last year was convergence. I didn't know what that meant. I had to look it up. This year was brilliance, and I know what brilliance is. And so sometimes you hear it in music. You'll be listening to music, and a certain word will vibe with you. Gina is visual, so she may see it.
My word kept popping, it just kept popping off. I kept seeing it in all these different places, and finally, it usually takes a time or two, but then I'm like, why am I seeing devotion? And I'm like, oh. And for me, it usually starts like Tammy, you mentioned that you got yours in Scorpio season. Mine usually comes in the last quarter of the year. That's been the time. But so I would say to some of you, you may have been receiving your word and you just don't have your antenna up for it. So give that some thought.
And sometimes we put pressure on it, right? We put pressure on ourselves. And when we put pressure on ourselves, that um doesn't allow the flow in, right? It doesn't allow the flow in. And so really just go in with an open heart. If a word pops up, a word pops up, give it time. There's no rush. Like I said, I get my word in Scorpio season, like months before the New Year's. But I'm also born in January, so having the word come up before my birthday makes sense. If your birthday is in August, that word may show up in April, right? Like, and so be kind to yourself. We're all going to find our word, if that's even something that resonates with us, in different ways, right? We may feel it's a theme, we may feel it's a relationship, we may feel it's a new job. It might not just show up as a logical word, right? It might be a feeling. I'm very logically based, even though I have a woo wardrobe at this point. You guys are all invited to play. Um, it shows up in so many different ways. And so just even saying out loud that I'm open, it will show up in a lot of different ways. Yes, woo wardrobes are the best for sure, right? I remember back in 2020 when I first I think it was 2018, 19 when I kind of went through my next wave of of awakening, if you want to call it that. I don't really call it that anymore because I'm just wave on wave on wave. But it was 2018, 19 that this next surge came through. And I was terrified. I was terrified to share that I was a human design specialist, or I liked astrology, or that I was following something different than the religion that I was born with. I was really terrified to share that. I was terrified of judgment, of what other people would think, of people, talking badly about me, or leaving me, or nobody wanting to work with me anymore. And a lot of those things came to pass. They really did. But that's something that our souls asked for, right? Our souls knew that we could handle that, and through it opened up new relationships, opened up new opportunities, opened up new expansion and soul growth that I never thought that I would be, where I am today. And that was truly through innocence, truly with having an open mind, an open heart, and not trying to figure it out. Not trying really is the thing. Just let it come to you if it's meant to come to you. Okay, so we were talking about New Year's, and from the feeling that I got from a lot of you guys is that you're not goal orientated, right? Or it's uncomfortable to be goal orientated because in the past we never followed through. And we think, I've never followed through in the past. Why would I follow through now? That's not who I am. And yet, I have to tell you, aligning to your energetic blueprint, aligning to your chart, aligning to your truth sometimes is like bathing a cat. It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel comfortable sometimes. And I find that sometimes we have to get uncomfortable to create change. Me and Gina were talking about our grooves on our couch, right? Those grooves on our couch are created from sitting in our comfort zone for too long until it gets uncomfortable, until you have to go to a chiropractor because your hips are out, because you've been sitting too long. So I want to say you may not be a goal-oriented person. You might not have a lot of earth elements in your chart. And I'm talking Virgo and Capricorn and even Taurus, right? You may have a lot of fixed energy in your chart, meaning you might have a lot of Aquarius and Taurus and Leo and Scorpio in your chart, in your astrology chart, if this is something that you follow, right? And I have a fixed cross, right? I'm fixed. So change is uncomfortable. We're obsessed by change. We love change. We love transformation, but we tend to see it in other people and not in ourselves. And so I want to give you space to know that if you're not a goal-oriented person, dig into that. Is it because you um never took, you never really put effort into your goals before? Or maybe it just doesn't feel good. It's just not in alignment. Maybe you're more flow. Maybe you prefer more of a flexible framework, right? That's what I call it, a flexible framework. Because if you have a lot of openness in your chart, if you have a lot of water in your chart, right? If you have a lot of Cancer placements in your chart, or Scorpio or Pisces, you may not really like a goal, right? You might not, it might be, moving forward with a goal isn't your thing, right? It may be, I want to feel this way every day, right? Or it may be, I'm a goal-oriented person. For me, it's like if I plan a marathon or a half marathon or a Spartan race or something, and I plan a holiday around it. And it's not necessarily the run that I'm excited about, but it's the holiday around it. It's the training that I have to do every single day. It's the accountability that I have to be every single day that lights me up. And then when I get to the goal, whether it's a race or whether it's a holiday, it's like I'm already on to the next. So we all have a different way of feeling into what it is that we want to create in the next year. And that's why I started off talking about the astrology, because if you know what house or what part of your chart or where you're going to be affected, really affected in the new year, you can start playing with that. Oh, Aries is in my second house. Well, that might change the things that I value. That might change what I spend my money on. That might change how I spend my time with, right? If your Aries is in your 10th house, you might be changing careers. You might be changing what it is that you're going to be sharing. And so Diane says, like, birth certificate out of the lockbox, right? So even understanding the way that your energy is going to be moving in the new year could give you some insight, can give you some clues as to what it is you can focus your energy on. So Gina says her Aries is in her ninth and her 10th house, right? So if her Aries is in her ninth house, this is going to be perhaps long distance travel. This could be changing her philosophy on life. This could be going back to school and studying something different. This could be her having different values, like laws. She lives through a different law of life, right? So, being in her 10th house, this can show up in her career. This can show up. See, I love that for you, right? If we're getting a lot of newness in the way that you think, in the way that you're going to show up, right? So I love this for you. Helena says that Aries is in her 12th and her first house. So really, once again, like your thoughts and your beliefs create your reality. And what have you been swimming in for the last, decade? What are you so done with, right? What are you so done with? How are you going to take that accountability in that? Tanya says my Aries in my fifth house, right? So this is your creativity. This is new romance. This could be children that might be showing up for you in that way. And this could be like when we think about Saturn in your fifth house, you may be taking your hobby that you enjoy doing and creating structure around that. Right? That's kind of how my fifth house played out. This is where a lot of people had have hobbies turn them into businesses. So that's something that could happen, creativity. And so that's why I was saying, really understanding your astrology or understanding what's going on in the transits may help you tune into yourself a little bit more so you're not following what everyone else is doing. Madeline is Aries in the fourth house. Okay, me too. Me too. So my Aries is in my fourth house as well. And I'm already feeling that I might not be living here next year. I know Connie's probably sick of hearing that because I say it every year. But I do feel that there's going to be a shift and a change in the way in where I'm living or in the boundaries that I create for myself, right? The way that that's the one that's been coming up the most with me is I need new boundaries. Gina says I'm moving to Oregon. There's a few places I have on the map that I'm looking at right now, actually. So instead of doing like I was going to do a whole, soul setting, goal getting type experience right now, it feels like that we're not really in that feeling. And so instead I'm going to open up the mic. I want you to ask me some questions that you may have. And I'm going to try to give you some answers if that helps you. And that can get you more excited about what's going to happen in the next year and how you can start dreaming what you would like to experience in the new year. Because right now, we're still in the dreaming. We're not even in the make the goal, plant the seed, right? We're still in the dreaming. We're still in the changing our beliefs. We're still in the quantum. So Haley, if you could pop out, that'd be amazing. But Haley says that mine is in the sixth house. So I'm thinking that your Aries is in your sixth house, and I love that so much for you because your sixth house is Virgo energies, like I talked about earlier. It's what you do on the daily, um, and it's your health, your nutrition, your vocation. This is also friends and hidden enemies. This is the house of pets. And so, with Aries in your sixth house, this could play out in new ways that you spend your days, right? The new ways that you have a vocation or what you do on the daily. This could be a new career, a new job. I know you're a soulpreneur, and so you could be doing something different in that way. And with Saturn coming into the sixth house, this is adding more structure, right? Haley says that she's going to be working with us in the new year in the hive mind, which I'm so excited about. And so this could be a new way of thank you, Helena, new way of serving. right? A new way of serving as a soulpreneur. And so seeing new ways with that, and then with Neptune moving into that, it might be a little bit dreamy. And so how do we come into this new paradigm with this dreaminess of Neptune, but then also adding some structure to it? And so for you, it may be a flexible framework. Haley says, love, so excited. So Vea says the sixth and seventh house because Saturn now is going into the sixth. So very much the same way. Well, like I said, Helena beautifully said service. The way that you serve, the way that your vocation, what you do on the daily, it's very, so I have a Virgo moon, for instance. And so many people with a Virgo moon work in healthcare. We work in healthcare, right? And we're nurses, we're caregivers, we take care of other people, and it's a very caring, very mothering, very nurturing, but we could also be hard asses. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it going into your sixth and seventh house, once again, your vocation moving into your seventh house, if that's playing out, then this is your relationships as well. And it could be your coworkers, it could be relationships, romantic relationships. So Via says that she is a Gemini moon. Okay, so I'm a Gemini, and this is probably way too much for everyone else, and I apologize. But I'm a Gemini progressed moon right now. So busy, 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 busy. But I'm really loving this Gemini moon because I have taken structure to the way that I write, and I've been really enjoying this time, these next 3 years of my progressed moon, with some writing, some books and stuff that I want to write. So Helena says Virgo moon 2, health and wellness educator. That, you can't get more Virgo than that. Tanya says my sign is Virgo plus Virgo in Mercury plus Virgo in my 10th house. I love so much Virgo. So with so much Virgo, right? This is the way that you speak, right? With Virgo in your Mercury, the way that you speak, your sun sign in Virgo, the way that you show up in the world. Virgo in your 10th house, this could be your legacy, your contribution, the way that you show up. And so yeah, Virgo energy. It's definitely very grounded. But let's talk about I'm saying the good stuff about Virgo, right? Connected to Mother Earth, very nurturing, very loving. But there is another side of Virgo. Helena, I would love for you to pop out and talk about the bad side, the other side, not bad, the other side of Virgo.
Well, Tanya just wrote it. She said perfectionism. It's because you want to get it right. Virgo wants to get it perfect. It can be hypercritical, especially of oneself as well as others. And I think, and the detail orientation can become an obsession, if it's out of balance. Those are the things I have a lot of Virgo in my chart. So, I know it well. So I love Virgo. If you want a good accountant or CPA, hire a Virgo.
And that is so true. With Virgo, so I always, and I have, if you're a human design enthusiast, gate 18 is my north node. Right? So gate 18 is my north node. That means I'm always on the search for, for perfection. And sometimes we get into states of paralysis because we want everything to be perfect. And we get into our head and we start listening to that inner bitch within us that we all have, right? We all have that within us. And if you had any childhood conditioning or relationships with women that were hard on you, that may become the inner voice in your head with Virgo. So it's the critic, right? My best friend, she's a Virgo and she has everything planned. She has right to the T. I call her anal because she's just so anal. But she's so prepared. She's always the person that I can rely on. Virgos are great for, that they can rely on. I love that you said accountability and accountant because that's what I went to school with. My first career was business school. I went to school to be an accountant, management accountant. And that's when I found out I was dyslexic. And so then that was the end of that dream. And then I moved into healthcare. But now, actually, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I've been really feeling this call back into the finance world, especially since Pluto. So, anybody who is a Capricorn rising, raise your hand. This is for you. Pluto is now in our second house of currency, of value, of the way that we spend our money. And over the last few days, I got this huge zing. And something you may not know about me is, as much as I've been studying human design and astrology, I've been studying crypto as well. I bought my first crypto course in 2019, where I went into the esoterics of it. My roommate went into the crypto and the finance side of it. And so I'm really excited with this Pluto moving into my second house now, really transforming my finances. And I'm really feeling the surges of moving that into the way that projectors, because how many of us are projectors here, struggle with self-worth and self-value. We struggle with not charging enough. We struggle for asking. And I loved, like I said, Gina shared her link and she showed up for herself. And that is something that many projectors struggle with as well. And so that's something that I'm really, really excited to be bringing into the way that I teach coming forward, is how can we align with a healthy sense of self-value and self-worth. So Diane says, I don't know about projectors, but I struggle a lot with imposter syndrome, right? Yeah, absolutely. And Jessica says that she's a 1-3 projector. Madeline, I have like 5 Capricorn in my chart, only 1 Virgo in. Oh my goodness. So like, I don't know if your brains work like mine, but 5 Capricorns and then a blown up Virgo. Wow. Wow. Vea says that she's a 5-1 generator, but I saw myself in what you said. Like, and I don't like to say that all projectors, right? Because this is something that many of us, especially as we, and I was not going on this tangent, but here we are. I've been studying a lot about pink collar, right? Especially since we're moving into Virgo and Pisces, and we're moving into this realm. I feel that it is time for us to transform pink collar work, right? Pink collar work is work that women do that we get underpaid for. And I think that it's time for us to claim our worth, and we set that ourselves. We set that ourselves. And this doesn't mean that we're sitting on any sort of hierarchy of like, I am so much better than you and I need to claim this worth. This is an internal sense of self-worth. This is the internal shift that we make that says, I am worthy of receiving for who I am. So if we look at our G center in our human design chart and you have it colored in, you may struggle with, can I be accepted for who I am? If you have this white, like I do, you may question, am I lovable for who I am? Am I even lovable? Am I even capable of love, of feeling love? Right? So the way that we experience it is very, very different. And yet it's kind of the same thing. So Gina says, I'm over pink collar work. And the answer is always yes. Yes, absolutely. So this is something, for many of us, we're healers, right? Raise your hand if you're an energetic healer, if you're an energy worker, if you're a service provider, if you're a giver, if you've given your entire life, all you do is give, 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 give. And it's absolutely, and you might be better. You might be burnt out. You might be frustrated. You might be angry. You might be really angry. You might be low grade, bitter, resentful, angry about it. Um, I'm with you. I'm with you. And now it's time to come back to boundaries, right? Because boundaries make you valuable, right? Not being available all the time, even though you were last year. Maybe this is the year with Virgo and Pisces being in our nodes, with all these transitions, with the snake here in Chinese astrology, this being a 9-year in numerology, this feeling of priestess energy and the rise of the feminine that I have been feeling, this matter that we've been healing so much of, it's time to claim our power as our birthright. Whew, that was a lot. I hope somebody recorded that. So, does anybody want to pop out and have anything to say, anything to share before we move on to the next part? I know we're kind of a quiet group today, and that is totally okay.
Sorry, it's me again. So I was having some thoughts about this is kind of going back to goal setting, and I know I said that I didn't want to set goals like with that hard, rigid thing, which then you said something that I kind of pinged off of it is that, and maybe we don't want to set those goals because that we haven't always been able to meet those goals, so we've kind of in a way let ourselves down, which I was like, ooh, ouch, stab me in the heart, because that I know for a fact that there have been times when I have let myself slither out of things, using our snaky year reference. So then something was coming to me while we were talking about that of maybe we don't set year-long goals. Maybe those feel too big. And I know the SMART goal and everything like that. I've been there, done that, taught it, I can recite it like the back of my hand. But I was thinking, maybe if we set quarterly goals or something like that, where it was a little bit smaller, a little more attainable, and also a little bit more relevant, because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the energy is changing and shifting so quickly nowadays that if I set a goal for 6 months from now, I may not even be the same person that shows up to meet that goal. It might not even apply. So I just wanted to share that with the group of maybe setting, even weekly or monthly or quarterly goals, and that feels like so much more attainable than this big amorphous goal. And even those baby goals can align maybe with your bigger vision, but I was thinking just for someone like me who I'm like, I get overwhelmed. That's honestly what it is. I get overwhelmed. I'm like, that's too much. I'm not doing it. It just feels too much. So anyway, Connie, yeah, good idea. Vision boards for a month or two or even quarterly. I like that. Oh, I see Tanya has her hand up too. Let's hear it.
Do I go ahead? I don't hear it.
Are you there, Tanya?
Yeah, I don't know. Why I can't hear
Hi,
you?
yes, I would love for you to pop out if you have anything to say.
Can someone say something to find out if I am still here?
I don't think I caught that.
Oh,
Tanya,
now I hear
we
you.
can hear you, Tanya.
Oh, okay, because I
Tanya,
was
can you hear me?
Yes, now I think it's my earphones, so I take them off. It's very, very interesting what you say, Gina. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. What I would love to share with you maybe is helpful. Even though I never do New Year's, those things that, I love goals. But for me, it's like what you were saying, Nina, it's like things that feels relevant and that are really connected to my heart. And now what I have done for many years, and is I have also, when I was a teacher, I was sharing that with my students at school, is what we call, I don't know in English how we call it because my mother language is Spanish and I live in a French speaking place. But it's re-engineering, inverse re-engineering. So it's about what I do want to accomplish. More than just a goal, like and with the SMART that we put that. No, more than that, what do I want to accomplish? And then with the inverse re-engineering is like, what do I need to do before that? What do I need to do before that? What do I need to do before that? And that it feels so easy. And in that way also, our mind doesn't fool us because you are or we are showing the path. And it's very, the feeling when we arrive to that goal or that thing we wanted is wow. And many times even we accomplish it even faster than we would thought because everything is aligned. And our mind has seen the path and doesn't feel so big like you were saying, Nina.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I love you, by the way, because you seem to have, like, we're very in tune. You seem to open me up to what I'm talking about next. So, Gina, if you can share that link again with the heads up bundle, because my hustle with heart is literally that. It's literally walking you through how to connect to your heart goals, not your mind goals, not the comparison goals that you make with other people, but what is it, what is the journey that your heart wants to take you on? Right? How do you connect to your heart? And then with this planner that is now fillable, I have ChatGPT questions that dig you deeper into your psychological why. And it asks you more and deeper, deeper, deeper. And then we go into SMART goals, and then we go into quarterly goals, and we, all of the things. But I loved how people were saying, I can't make a goal for an entire year because that's just too far. I get too overwhelmed, too much in my head. And the thing that I am so passionate about with the Hive Mind this year is we will be making monthly goals. So we're going to be aligning with the new moon, what the message of the new moon is for each individual, because we all have a different thing that we're going to be working on, and every moon is going to take us into a different journey within ourselves. And how can I stay devoted to myself in that way, to that goal or to that feeling or that whatever it is that I'm working towards? And so instead of making goals from the head, we're making goals from the heart. And the hustle is much different when it's from the heart because it's through devotion. It's like, how do I want to wake up and serve myself today? And when I wake up and serve myself, then I can serve other people. But how do I take up space and do for myself first? And so she popped it in there in case anybody's interested. And like I said, it also includes the calendar and includes how to work with the elements every month. Okay. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do want to talk about what we're working on in 2025 and the invitation that I'm really, really excited, you guys. Like I said, I'm so excited about this. This is the hive mind. This is my year-long hive mind. We always say mastermind, but truly, like I truly believe that we're a collective. When we commit to each other, when we're devoted to each other, this is a collective. This is a hive mind where we all have a seat at the table. I may be a queen, but I am not your highness. That kind of vibe, which I'm really excited about. We are going to be moving through an entire year, so an entire cycle of learning who you are through astrology, through human design, through the transits. And so when you go through an entire year, because a lot of people say the human design takes 7 years through the journey, and I'm like, no, no. If you stay consistent, if you stay true to yourself, that deconditioning can take a lot less time. And so the more that you know, like, and trust yourself, the more that that becomes who you are, and the more that other people see it. It's, I call it embodying your brand, right? If your business is part of your brand, the more that you embody your blueprint, you embody your brand, and that becomes your calling card. So through this 12 months, we're going to be walking through your offers. We're going to be, all the back end stuff, all the business stuff. But what I truly am excited about is like growing with you, into that path of self-mastery, into that path of devotion to yourself, to your service, to your heart-based offers. And through that entire year, we'll have 2 monthly calls. So the new moon and the full moon. So we do align with the transits and we do align with the new themes. There will be 4 intensives where these are the getter dones, right? These are the, like, say you want to create a lead magnet, or you want to create an offer, or you want to create an event or whatever. These intensives are the get her done. We're going to get her done. And so that you walk out feeling lit up and inspired and have a plan. Because a lot of people get in their heads and they don't take action. People that work with me, and Gina knows, I light a fire under your ass because that's just who I am. And you leave inspired and you want to work. And then the thing that I'm really excited about is when you join the 12-month mastermind at $3,000 until the beginning of January, which is ridiculous. This is my beta price. Never have this price again. But I truly just wanted to have something for people that are just starting out. You're going to have an opportunity to be a part of the Take Up Space Summit. We had over 800 people last year at the summit. So we'll be sharing space, we'll be collaborating with each other, growing your business through shared spaces. You'll have an opportunity to speak on something that is, part of your business, create a lead magnet, build your funnel so that you can start creating sustainable wealth. And so the Take Up Space Summit is in July. Really excited about that. And you'll have an opportunity to showcase your talents there. I don't think there's anything. Oh, and then, oh my goodness, I forgot about this part. You get the Soul Prism Vault for an entire year. So this is my astrology courses, my human design courses, like how to build your business, how to be in alignment, how to start your manifestation journey. I have a 21-day process in there. The vault is literally my body of work since 2020, and it's continuously growing. And so I'm opening the doors to my vault to you guys who are joining the Hive membership. What does it work out to, Gina? It's super I think it's like 125 every 2 weeks. Like I hate, I don't, and honestly, when I open this up again in April, I'm doubling the price. I'm just opening up at this price so that I'm taking action. I am taking action. And so, yes, Gina says 125. And Haley, I'm so excited. I know Haley can't pop out right now, but Haley is joining the Hive Mind as well. And she is working with ADHD. Haley, can you pop out and just share a little bit about who you are and who it is that you serve?
Yeah, you can, as long as you can hear me, that's fine. I'm currently multitasking right now as an occupational therapist. So I'm trying to get through some of my emails and stuff. So I'm an occupational therapist and I'm in Kelowna, BC. And I work with primarily kiddos and families with ADHD or autism and try to help them just thrive more with their days and do what's meaningful to them. And I work with a variety of other people as well, as I have my own private practice, and it's just little old me starting. So then meeting Tammy, I was just like so excited because starting out this business, I like from a burnout phase, I didn't want to continue that. And that's kind of the direction I was going. So being able to slowly start up my own business while having Tammy's support and learning this human design and actually in alignment, because when we were talking about the words and thinking about words, all I can think about is love or alignment or different things. So it was just like meant to be meeting Tammy at this point to then be able to learn and have the support and learn what actually is right for me, whereas I feel like when I was working in corporate jobs and different businesses, that's never the case. No one's ever actually looking out for you that deeply. So I'm super excited, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't pop on camera because that's usually what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a busy start to my year now.
Well, I appreciate you coming on today, and I appreciate you sharing why you joined and what you're excited about, because that helps other people who are wanting to join or curious why you would want to join. Gino, do you want to pop out and say why it is that you want to join the Hive Mind this year?
I do. So first of all, because I know the experience of working with you and what you can get done. So to share a little bit, I worked with Tammy last year, as she mentioned, and as a dive-in diva, and in the space of 3 months, I built a website. I launched offers. I took part in the Take Up Space Summit. I built a lead magnet, and then because I had so much momentum, I actually found an opportunity where I can rent space and actually do my crystal healing and my sound baths live in my community. So in that 3 weeks, I was able to move my business and my heart work, because this is literally my heart work. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Right now I have a very corporate job. And I'm done. And as a result of all of this work and things and the progression that I've made, I actually told my job that I will not be available to work for them after August of this year. So I have really, from working with Tammy, just gotten myself in more alignment with what I'd want to do with my heart and my heart work, and the courage and support to know that I can move that forward. So and you know, it's such a loving experience. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that she doesn't kick you in the butt, but she does it in, you know, in a way that it's like you don't even realize you've been kicked until you look back and you go, you know, she really just kind of shoved me out there, didn't she? And but it's good, because sometimes you do need that kick, sometimes you do need that push, and but also the other support of you know, she's been available for brainstorming when I'm like, I don't know what to do, I have all these ideas, and it's like, okay, we'll just chunk it down. And so I'm super excited for Hive Mind, because I feel like now that she's created something where we can all do this for each other, right? It doesn't have to just be Tammy and her perspective, but we're creating together this community where we have so many different perspectives and we get to all help make each other better. And so that is what's super exciting to me. So I just want to invite you all to come and play with us, because it's going to be really fun and it's going to be amazing. And so you really just should.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate you so very much. And that's the thing, right? When I do work with people, I truly I've spent 20 years in healthcare, right? Caring. I love to care. I care. I spent the last 5 years in mental health. So there is no story that you could tell me that I haven't heard before. Um, and so I do give that, you know, I'm a Virgo moon, so that motherly, nurturing, but tough love at the same time. I am a Capricorn sun, so I'm a getter done. I'm here for the legacy. I'm here for the big picture, and I'm an Aquarius sun, so I'm here for the tech. I'm here for the hopes and the dreams and creating miracles in your life. And so the hive mind, as Gina says, it's not the Tammy show. It's not the Tammy Mack show. We all have a seat at the table. I'm facilitating as a projector. We facilitate the best. We know how to move energy, whose energy works the best. And so even feeling into this group right now, with Haley, you know, with ADHD, and Gina, a mental projector. I mean, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be so amazing. I'm really, really excited. So the doors close January the 20th. It is right now $3,000, and so you can start with as little as 125 every 2 weeks. I really wanted to make this sustainable and available to you, but the price is rising and there is a lot available. Gina was beautiful and shared the links with you guys, so you can always press the links and see if this is a right fit. And please hit my DMs, please hit my emails, please ask questions. Don't be shy, I do have the time, and so ask me any questions that you have, and I would love to serve you in any capacity that I can in 2025. So that is it for me. If anybody wants to pop out, have any questions, this is your time now to ask about the Hive Mind or any of my other offers that I have. And if not, oh, Connie, were you saying something?
I was just going to thank you. Lots of information, lots of tools. So thank you very much.
Connie, I love
Both you and Gina. Yeah.
Thank
I
you
didn't
so
talk
much.
too much today, but thank you. I got lots, so.
Good. I'm glad. And were you able to understand the majority of it? I know
No,
yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
we need to do my chart so that I know what, what I'm talking about or what you're talking about. So, yeah.
And that's great feedback, Connie. I do appreciate it because I do ramble off. I do go into a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand. And I guess that's just who I am. I try my best to ground it as much as possible, but sometimes, um, as Diane says, I don't understand a lot, but it was very interesting and I want to learn more in the future, right? So even if this gives you a tip, even if this just gets you excited about learning more about yourself through astrology and human design, and all my rambling kind of got you lost in the sauce, no problem. We can definitely find ways for you to understand it a little bit more. And like I
Yeah.
said, I do have courses, and we, Connie, you and I can just go for a walk.
Yeah. Yeah. I do get it. It's just that I don't know where everything is for me.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Connie. Okay, that's it. Gina, I'm gonna get you to stop recording. I think you were recording.